Thank you very much. Welcome. So there is some seats down here, guys, so you don't have to stand the whole session. Come and fill the seats. No? I'm actually a bit excited that there's more than 3 people in the audience. And the reason why is because accountants and bookkeepers, generally we don't like marketing. But I have just been told that maybe not everybody is an accountant or bookkeeper, that there might be business owners in the audience. So can I see a show of hands? And I'm shouting because it's the earphones thing, so I need to stop shouting. Hands up if you're not an accountant or bookkeeper. Okay, so quite a few of you. All right, so I'm going to adjust my presentation on the fly as I go, but it really does apply to most business owners. All right? So the firms and businesses winning right now are not necessarily the firms or businesses that are good at accounting or good at selling that widget or doing what they do. They're winning because they're good at marketing, because people are watching what they're doing on social media. They're showing them how good they are. So if you're not on social media, people don't know about you, all right? And before you roll your eyes, if you're an accountant or bookkeeper and say, Natalie, I get all my clients from referrals. I don't need marketing. Let me ask you this. How many of those referrals are actually your ideal client? And by ideal client, I mean the clients that pay you without whinging. They work the way that you want to work by using the apps that you want to work. They're responsive, and they're the type of person that you want to deal with. Or are we just taking on the referrals because we want to look after our clients? I know I do sometimes. Show of hands. Who takes on referrals that are not necessarily who they want to work with? Yep. Thank you for admitting that. I'm sure there's more of you not putting your hands up. So if we're marketing and we're on social media, we're showing everybody how good we are, and we're getting the people that want to work with us reaching out. We're having wait lists. We're loving life, right? Instead of being like most accountants and bookkeepers who are not having a good time a lot of the time, yeah? So here's the truth. While we're all sitting behind our desks doing our little tax returns and being comfortable, there's gurus, business coaches, potentially younger accountants that are less experienced than you. They're putting themselves out online. They're getting those clients. They're stealing the clients from you because your clients are not seeing your face on social media. Yes, they'll be seeing your face if you're doing regular meetings with them and phone calls and things, but we're not showing up and showing them, how good we are at what we're doing. So hands up who's ready to start building the firm or the business that we wanted to in the first place. Show of hands. I'm sure it'll be everybody. Yeah. So key takeaways for today. So where to start with social media, where to start with video on social media, why video is the key to attracting your ideal clients, and why social media equals more visibility, more clients, more money. I'm sure we would all like a bit more money. So some housekeeping. Take photos. I know a couple of you are already taking photos. In fact, I encourage it. Share it around. Tag me on LinkedIn. I'm at Nat Lennon on all the other social platforms. Would love to, hear your thoughts on my presentation today. And we will do a Q&A at the end if we have time. It's a bit hard hearing all the other sounds. So a bit about who am I? If you haven't. Oh, okay. That's better. Okay, now I don't have to shout because the other stages are very loud. So a little bit about me. I'm a chartered accountant, tax agent. I've got 20 years experience working in businesses, in accounting firms. I've got a podcast. I'm on the Zero Partner Advisory Council. I'm a tech junkie. I love to automate, work smarter, not harder, where I possibly can. I've got 2 businesses, an accounting firm in Sydney, which we're 100% remote and work with businesses Australia-wide. And also last year, I founded Two Sides Academy, where I'm helping accountants to show up, challenge old ways of thinking and build the firm of their dreams. Some of the things that have come to me from social media and putting myself out there, some of the key highlights of my career. So this time last year, I was lucky enough to be on the cover of the Chartered Accountants Australia New Zealand magazine. That's the pink cover shot there was my cover girl moment. That was pretty cool. It was pretty cool seeing that magazine at the Qantas Lounge. I did a few videos for social media around that. Got to speak at XeroCon. I got to do some paid influencer type stuff with DocuSign. Ended up on news.com.au a couple of times from some of my TikTok videos that went viral. Got on Daily Mail, got on A Current Affair. Now, for those of you wondering, the camera was not chasing after me. It was a pre-planned interview. We're talking about tax. And one of my other career highlights was that's me at Uluru. I got paid to go and speak at Uluru for a cleaning business owners conference. That was really cool. So people want to hear from you. Like I said before, there's people less qualified than all of you showing up, stealing your clients, just getting up there and doing their thing. I've got almost, I think, what is it now? 23,000 followers on TikTok, 11,000 followers on Instagram. Now, my husband still thinks it's wild that people want to actually listen to an accountant on social media. But we've got so much knowledge to give. We've done so many years of study. The business owners, I'm sure, similar thing. You spent many years trying to hone your craft. And why are we just gatekeeping this? We need to get it out there. It's never been more easier to reach a mass audience. So years ago, when I was first starting out, I would have coffees with everybody, one-on-one meetings. It was exhausting and it was time consuming. Who's got time for that these days? We're all busy, we don't have time, right? We set out to do it, it never happens. Whereas if we're on social media, we're reaching a stadium of people at any one time. One of my TikTok videos has had over 500,000 views. Now, that's absolutely wild to me that I was able to reach more people than Taylor Swift at one of her conferences with one of my videos. And that's an accountant talking about boring tax things. So if you're a business owner, there's a lot of opportunity there for you. So you're probably thinking, okay, Nat, that sounds great, but where do we start? What's some practical tips of how we can get started? So firstly, we don't get overwhelmed. Like anything, we want to break it down into bite-sized things to do. Otherwise, we never do it. So the first thing is the personal branding and target client. So a lot of accountants, myself included, when you first start doing a bit of marketing and social media, you think, well, I don't want to target any one client because I help everybody. And if I'm focusing on that one client, then I'm missing out on all these other people over here. But what I learnt is it actually means you're talking to nobody because you're not narrowing in on that target client. So you want to think about who are they? What do they do? How old are they? Where are they located? So an example that I like to make is I'm a burger lover. I love burgers. The local fish and chip shop, they do great burgers. They also do fish and chips and chicken. But there's these other burger shops popping up all over the place on social media, and they look pretty good. And on the face of it, looks like they probably do a better burger because all they're doing is burgers. So in our minds, we're thinking, well, they just specialise in burgers. They're bloody good at burgers. And we stop going to the fish and chip shop. So it's the same thing with any other business, any other accounting firm. We want to make sure we're narrowing down on who we're actually talking to. The next stage, if you want to go even further, would be to niche. So to go down narrower. I'm going to go over time, so I'm going to. If everyone wants to take a photo of that, I'm going to skip into the next slide. So then it comes down to the content. So we've got the who, and now we've got the what. Now, once again, we're all busy, we're doing our thing, and we don't have enough time. I've been talking too much this morning. Enough time to do the content. So what I recommend and what I do is you could keep a notepad beside your desk. I'm an Apple girly, so I like to keep them on the notes on my phone. They sync to my computer. Whenever a client asks me a question, I write it down. And there's my content. Because if you wait and go, okay, I'm going to do my content on Friday, I'll sit down on Friday, okay, I'm ready to do my content now, and what am I going to do? I have no idea. You're going to start from scratch. It's going to take too long. So if you're doing it as you go, keeping a list of the things your clients are asking you, your customers are asking you, that's the stuff they want to hear about, so let's talk about it. So then when you sit down to do your content, you've already got the starting point. So that's tip number one. The other thing is thinking about trending topics. So for tax accountants, during tax time is the best time to get on there and be posting about things that are relevant. Because let's be real, Most business owners are not looking at tax things, thinking about tax time until tax time. So tax time is perfect time to start. You've got a couple of months until then, plenty of time to plan. Simplifying the ATO rules. So the ATO stuff's crazy complicated, quite easy for us to break that down. And that's what business owners need from us. They need to understand the tax rules, the tax laws, in a way that they can apply it to their business without it being so difficult and so hard. And outsource it. If you can't, if it's too hard basket and you say, I can't do it, outsource it, get some assistance. For, maybe $500 a month, you get someone to do one social post for you per week. Like it's not very expensive to do it. So the how. So we want to keep it short. So no longer are we doing these long, boring videos. Hi, my name is Natalie. I'm an accountant. And today I want to talk to you about tax. Boring. People have scrolled on. They're not listening. So I want to keep it short, under a minute. And we want to get to the point really quickly so that we stop that scroll. So here's some of the things that I have used and what we call hooks to hook them in. I'm not going to go through these in details. If you want to take a screenshot, there's a few of my videos that have done rather well. You've got to start somewhere. If you're not embarrassed, and this is like, I would apply this to anything that we do, right? If we're not embarrassed about our first attempt, we've waited too long to do it. And the good part about it is, if you're starting from scratch and no one's following you, no one's going to see it anyway. So just do it. We all need to get over ourselves, okay? Nobody cares. We care more than anybody else, all right? So there's one key takeaway. And you don't need any fancy equipment either, just your phone will do. So we need to add captions as well. And the captions are good for hearing impaired people, people on the train, people who like to scroll on social media potentially while their partner or kids are watching TV. We need to double check the captions because AI does not always, we can't always trust it, right? So the one that I've circled there says, all the sexual tax for no reason. Now, if I hadn't have proofread that would have been quite a funny video. So a few other tips. I'm getting the timer, so I need to try and wrap it up very soon. Creating scripts. So if you're not someone that is confident on camera, you're not confident on doing it on the fly and thinking about what you're going to post, then I would recommend sitting down and doing a bit of a script for yourself first. Use ChatGPT if you need a bit of help. In fact, I've been using ChatGPT myself to help me with my longer form YouTube content because as an accountant, I'm not a very good writer. So hair in my face, there we go. So using that to help me. And there's so many tools at our disposal now, tools that we didn't have even a couple of years ago. So we really need to start harnessing those. Choose the social media platform that you're comfortable with. There's no need to start using, I love TikTok. TikTok's my tool of choice, but there's no need to jump onto TikTok if you're someone who's used to Instagram, for example, or you're someone who's used to LinkedIn. Don't overcomplicate it by trying to use another app, all right? Batch create. So like I said before, you've got your list, and then you can sit down, and I'd recommend if you're starting, do 4 videos. There's your content for a whole month. Do 1 a week. You don't need to, all the social media gurus say post every day, post 3 times a day, and that's great for them. But if we're just starting out, 1 a week is fine. Scheduling. So using, I like to use an app called Buffer. And basically what Buffer does, I think you can have maybe 2 or 3 social media channels for free connected. So you draft 1 post, and then you click a few buttons to customize for the different apps, and then you can schedule it in. So you don't have to, have it in your calendar to go, okay, today it's at 10 o'clock, I've got to hop in, I've got to post it on here, there, and everywhere, and it's going to take me a long time. You can do that if you want to, but there's apps like, I think Canva also allows you to schedule and push it out to your social media platforms. Lighting. So if you're doing videoing, you want to always make sure that you've got the window, natural light in front of you, or another type of light so that's well lit, because that's another thing when people are scrolling, we want them to be able to see our faces, and we don't want it to be, a bit of a dark video. They're just going to scroll on, they're not going to pay attention. Momentum, like I said, 1 post a week. Repurposing on other apps. So if you're using Instagram's not a very good app to download out of. You can't download your video, your reels out of it unless you have there's like another website that you go to download them. So it's not as functional with that. TikTok, you can download them a lot easier. But if you're going to be, let's say, for example, you want to do LinkedIn. So I would recommend using CapCut. So you can use the free version, it's pretty good, and you can do all your editing in CapCut. So you can film on your phone and then upload it straight into CapCut. There's a mobile app and a computer app. In fact, I only just started using the computer app a couple of months ago. Before that, I was doing it all on my phone. So there really is no excuse. We can do it on the fly. It doesn't need to be a huge task. And lastly, we want to be interacting with our followers. So even if you're starting, like I said before, and you've got no followers, you want to start reaching out to your target audience, commenting on their post, liking their post, perhaps sending them a message. So there's a couple of marketers that will say what you should do is whenever someone follows you, send them a message. Like that's the point, to be like, hey, how are you? Thanks for following. How can I help? This is what we do. So little things like that, to not just be doing the videos and uploading, but interacting. So why video? So on average, it takes someone 7 times, I'm glad that you've all got your phones out, this is a great one, 7 times on average to hear and see your content before they're going to sign up as a customer. Isn't that wild? But the power of video is when you've done that, so when people reach out to us, and in fact we've actually got a wait list, which I still think is wild, they've already seen me. They already, I don't perceive to be a better accountant than anybody else in the room, a better business owner. But when my followers are seeing me, they're going, oh my God, she's so good. She knows what she's talking about. She's an expert. So when they come to me, the reality is I could really charge them whatever I like. And it's very different conversation. Not that I do, but it's very different conversation to, I guess, clients finding you on Google. They don't really know who you are. They looked at your website. And then you've got to do the sell. You've got to get them warm, as they say, right? But with video, you've already done that. All right, so I've gone through all of that. So this is a good summary of the old way of networking and getting clients to the new way, which I won't go through because we are going to run out of time and I want to do some Q&A. But basically, old way, one-to-one, small number of people. New way, social media, online, masses. So I'm going to leave you with this before we get into the Q&A. If you're not active on social media in 2025, people will assume you're closed down. Maybe you're old school and you're not keeping up with the trends. They also don't know if you're any good and why they should work with you. Because as we said before, remember the 7 times. So when someone looks up a business, they normally go maybe Google, then they might go Instagram, Facebook, maybe LinkedIn, depending on what industry you're in. So you want to just start with the one, but then you want to grow. You want to be on all the places because you want to be able to expand your reach. All right. So I think we've got maybe 2 minutes left for Q&A and we've got a microphone. So does anyone have any questions? Look, most of it's been organic. All the early stage stuff was organic. Probably late last year, I dabbled in a bit of boosting of posts on TikTok on some of the videos already doing viral to boost them even more. But really, I think with the paid stuff, I think sometimes it pushes it out to people that are not potentially your ideal client. So when I did that, I did find a lot more people commenting on the videos that weren't potentially needing to see them, if that makes sense. So if you're starting out, it is a long slog. So, it's something that doesn't happen overnight, but it will happen. And you've got to be patient with it. Don't just go throwing money to boost things and try and do those sponsor posts. Because in my opinion, I think it's a bit of a waste of money. But that's just my personal opinion. Buffer. So using Buffer. So scheduling them through Buffer. Yeah, a little bit. So some of my TikTok content does not make it onto LinkedIn. Although I guess over the last year, as I've been getting more confident with my posting, I have been putting some of those things onto LinkedIn. But yeah, there's certain things that should stay on TikTok, stay on Instagram, stay on LinkedIn. But you'll get a feel for that as you're going. Yeah. Just start. Just start.
More views than
Yeah. Yeah, that's my one-liner. If you take anything away from today, it will be that you can reach more people than Taylor Swift on social. There you go. You heard it here first. Thanks, guys, for coming. I really appreciate it. Have a great day. Thank you.